So today, we're going to dive into a story that's unfolding all around us right now. It's the story of biodiversity, that vast, intricate web of life that honestly makes our planet work. We're going to look at its incredible richness, the huge threats it's facing, and most importantly, how we all have a part to play in writing its next chapter.
But let's kick things off with a little puzzle. What on earth could a Siberian crane, a Bengal tiger, and a simple piece of paper possibly have in common? The answer might actually surprise you. It reveals this hidden connection between the wildest parts of our world and the tiny choices we make every single day. Let's figure it out. Okay, so before we jump into the problems and all the solutions, we first need to get a real feel for what we're talking about, what's actually at stake here. We've got to appreciate the beautiful, complex system we're trying to protect, this incredible web of life. So, what is biodiversity really? Well, it's way more than just a giant list of cool animals and plants. Yeah, it's the variety, but the magic is in the interrelationships, that invisible dance between every living thing and its environment. Think of it like a giant, intricate engine that keeps our whole planet running smoothly. On one side of this incredible equation, you've got the flora. That's all the plant life. These are the foundations. They're the producers, turning sunlight into energy for literally everyone else, from massive sal and teak trees to the mangoes and jamuns that feed the whole ecosystem. And then, of course, you've got the fauna, all the animal life. From the grazers like the chinkara to apex predators like the leopard and wolf, every single creature has a role to play. They're all working together, keeping things in balance. Now, some species are real specialists. We call them endemic species. They're found in one and only one specific corner of the world. The Indian giant squirrel, for instance, only lives in the Pachmarhi Biosphere Reserve. And that uniqueness is what makes them so special. But it's also what makes them incredibly vulnerable. If their one home disappears, well, so do they. Forever. And this is where our story takes a bit of a darker turn. That beautiful web of life we just talked about, it's starting to fray. And a huge reason for that is the destruction of our forests. So let's get into why that's happening. Look, deforestation isn't just one thing. Yeah, sure, you have natural causes. Forest fires, droughts, that kind of stuff happens. But let's be real. The overwhelming driver, the thing pushing this crisis into overdrive, is us. We're clearing land for farms and cities and using wood for fuel and furniture. And recognizing that is the first step. And here's the thing you absolutely have to get. Cutting down a forest isn't just one bad act. It's like pulling a thread on a sweater. The whole thing starts to unravel. It kicks off with more CO2 in the atmosphere. That leads to global warming and messes up the entire water cycle. Then the bare soil just washes away. And the final, devastating step, fertile land turns into desert. It's a terrifying chain reaction, and it all starts with chopping down trees. So, with so many species in trouble, where do we even begin? I mean, how do you decide where to focus our limited time and money? Well, thankfully, there's a global system for ranking that risk. This is the IUCN Red List. Think of it like the planet's emergency room report, but for entire species. It's this massive global inventory that classifies every species based on how close it is to disappearing forever, from doing just fine all the way to tragically extinct. At the absolute top of that list, we've got critically endangered. This is code red. It means a species is right on the edge, facing an extremely high, immediate risk of being wiped out in the wild. The gharial, a totally unique type of crocodile, is a heartbreaking example. It is literally hanging on by a thread. One step down from that, but still in very serious trouble, are endangered species. They face a very high risk of extinction. This is where you find some of the planet's most iconic animals, like the Bengal tiger and the snow leopard. Their entire future is balanced on a knife's edge. And then there's vulnerable. These guys are like the flashing yellow light on the dashboard. They aren't on the absolute brink just yet, but if things don't change, they are heading straight for that endangered category. Okay, I know, that was a lot of heavy stuff, and it's easy to feel a little overwhelmed. But here's the good news. This story is not just about loss. It's also about renewal and about the fight to protect what we have left. Let's talk about the creation of what I like to call nature's fortresses. So we have a few different tools in our toolkit for protection, and they all have slightly different jobs. A wildlife sanctuary, for example, might focus on protecting one specific animal. A national park zooms out, trying to save an entire ecosystem, the plants, animals, the whole landscape. But the biggest picture approach is a biosphere reserve. It aims to protect nature and support the people who live nearby. As you can see, they all have different rules, creating these layers of defense for the natural world.
And this isn't just theory, right? This is real action. You've got massive government efforts like India's famous Project Tiger. You have powerful grassroots movements like the Chipko movement, where everyday people literally hugged trees to save them. And you even have cultural celebrations like annual tree planting festivals. The fight is happening on every single level.
So, governments are acting, communities are acting, but what about us? What about you and me? Well, it turns out the path to renewal runs right through our own homes, through our daily lives.
I want you to just look at this number for a second. 17. It takes 17 full-grown, mature trees to make just 1 ton of paper. All of a sudden, that link between a forest in a faraway place and the printer sitting in your office becomes incredibly clear, doesn't it?
So this is it. This is where our power lies. And the best part? It's not complicated. Save paper, just be mindful, avoid waste, reuse it right on both sides, and always, always recycle. Every single sheet of paper you recycle doesn't just save trees, it saves a ton of energy and water too. It's such a small choice for us, but it has a huge impact when we all do it together. And all of this leads to the ultimate answer, the big one, reforestation. We're not just talking about planting a few trees here and there. We're talking about actively healing the planet, restocking the forests we've lost. If we want to secure a green future, this isn't just an option, it's the only option. It is the ultimate act of renewal. And so here we are, right back where we started. The crane, the tiger, and the piece of paper. We see it now, don't we? They're all part of the same story. A story of connection, of threat, and of incredible hope. And that story's not over, not by a long shot. The final chapter is being written right now by all of us. The only question is, what's our chapter going to say?